Hi friends, my name is Sharon Lowe and I lead America's marketing. Today, we have Joel Labrie and Anush Srivastava, our security and governance experts, joining us for this session. Joel and Anush, please tell us about your role. I will start with Joel and then follow with Anush.
Sure. So my name is Joel Labrie, and I've been working with IT for almost 30 years now. I started with end-user support and then developing applications. Soon, I got a job in consulting service, and I realized that I really loved working with different customers and deploying different technologies. So for the last 25 years, I've been in the IT consulting business. Lately, I have specialized in Microsoft Cloud Security and Microsoft Local Development Solutions.
Thanks for having me on this platform. My name is Anush Srivastava. I've been working in IT services and consulting for almost 25 years now, where I have lived and worked in different countries like India, UK, US, Canada, etc. Currently, I'm based out of Chicago. My diverse background helps me to interact with customers across geographies and industries, understanding their challenges around IT operations, cybersecurity, regulatory compliance, as well as enterprise governance.
Thank you, team, for the great introduction. I will start with you, Joel. What are the biggest challenges your customers face today when it comes to security and governance?
Okay, so let me take a step back and talk about security governance. I understand that security governance is part of corporate governance, and it is a process that involves making strategic decisions to align cybersecurity efforts with business goals and priorities. It requires overseeing the teams in charge of mitigating risks that could affect an organization's performance, reputation, or compliance. So security governance leaders also must balance the needs of addressing internal and external threats, complying with regulations, and managing the resources and budget of security program. I see many challenges, but I would like to talk about this two. First, regarding enforcement and accountability. It is important to enforce security requirements and hold employees, contractors, vendors, and partners accountable for complying with them. And for that, companies need to monitor and audit the security performance and implement corrective actions when needed. Second, having a senior leadership buy-in strengthens the cybersecurity governance program. They must participate, communicate the security vision, their strategy, and goals to the rest of the organization and all the other stakeholders as well. Today, cybersecurity is not only an IT responsibility, it's everyone, every department, and every C-level leader responsibility.
I agree with Joel's point of view about security governance is very much part of corporate governance. And that is where when I talk about security governance, I put a lot of emphasis on cybersecurity. Having a comprehensive cybersecurity strategy that integrates with organizational operations and that prevents the interruption of activities in case of cyber attacks or threats. To answer your question about biggest challenge, especially when I look at our enterprise customers, I look at some operations that are contributing to the challenges in two areas. First could be increasing sophistication of these threats. With all the advancements in technology, artificial intelligence, and now generative AI, we need to understand that even bad actors are using these sophisticated technologies to create disruptions. So we need to stay one step ahead in our cybersecurity governance approach. If we take some of the data breach and cyber attack examples, a large telecom company reported breaches that impacted more than 30 million customers. Organizations in diverse industries, from technology to fast food chains, were victims of cyber attacks in the past year. What we are seeing here is even the bad actors are exploring how the latest technology can be used to deceive and disrupt business operations. And that puts a lot of pressure on security leaders to keep updating their security frameworks and security governance procedures. Second, I'll also talk about security stack complexity. What we see, most of our customers have deployed multiple tools, frameworks, and platforms to address different security threats. Now, managing that complex tool set itself and knowing where the gaps are is a very cumbersome task. It requires a lot in terms of capital spending as well as full-time employees' involvement to manage.
Thank you, team. How would you work with your customers to resolve these issues? Or what are the first few steps your customers need to know?
Okay, good question. We want to help our customers create a culture of security-first mindset where everyone cares about protecting their data and systems. We would use automated tools to check and update their security systems regularly. This would show that they take security seriously and that it gives them an edge over their competitors. We would also use automation and AI tools to save time and make things more accurate, as well as let us keep an eye on things and fix problems quickly. We would also work with our customers' top leaders to guide them and manage their security program. This would involve giving them reports, dashboards, and updates on how secure they are, what risks they face, and what incidents have happened. It would also involve guiding them on why security is important and how it affects their business goals, risks management, and financial oversight. By involving the top leaders in security decisions, we help them set an example and create a culture where everyone is aware of security.
To answer this, Sharon, as we expand our security footprint, one of our key focus area is to work with customers to co-create the enterprise security framework by identifying platforms and tools that will be best fit for their technology stack and protect them from cyber threats. We are very well equipped to help our customers in developing and implementing their cybersecurity framework at a strategic level. We also bring our expertise and work with their partners or with our partners to help them choose the right products and platforms and also help them in setting their own security operations center. At a tactical level, we help them secure their endpoints, network infrastructures, as well as various assets.
Thank you for the insights. May I know what are the trends in security and governance?
One trend that we see is vendor consolidation. The need to simplify, streamline, and enhance security drives the convergence of security technology. Security products are converging into single platforms that offer more functionality and efficiency. But of course, security leaders need to balance the benefits of consolidation with the potential challenges of reduced negotiating power and single points of failure. Secondly, distributing decisions. Digital business requires a distributed approach to cybersecurity, where decisions, responsibilities, and accountabilities are shared among different organizational units instead of being centralized. I am seeing a shift in CISO role. It is moving from being a technical expert to becoming a business leader. This shift is intentional, as CISO needs to educate their peers, board of directors, and business leaders on security risk management, so that the company leaders make informed decisions before they face cyber attacks.
In continuation to Joa's thoughts, where he talked about vendor consolidation and distributed decision, I would like to point to two more areas which are getting a lot more traction. First, threat exposure management. The attack surface is becoming more complex and it creates fatigue. Security leaders have to evolve their assessment practices and management programs to manage their threat exposure and keep updating their threat exposure management programs. With hybrid work models and working from anywhere concepts, customers will have to evaluate their security endpoints to mitigate risk exposure to public Wi-Fi's and many unsecured devices and platforms. Secondly, I'll also talk about evolution and transformation of cybersecurity operating model. I encourage business leaders to recognize that cybersecurity risk is a critical business risk and not just a technology problem to solve. So it's not just an IT problem, it impacts the company and its reputation.
Thank you, team. This is great. Can you give us 3 key takeaways for customers who are thinking of enhancing their security and governance?
Sure. I recommend company leaders to define and communicate a clear cybersecurity strategy and goals that align with the business objectives, risk, and compliance requirements. Always measure and monitor your cybersecurity performance and create a cadence to communicate it to your stakeholders. Establish and follow standardized processes for identifying, assessing, and managing and reporting on cybersecurity risks and incidents. This will help you adopt best practices and frameworks such as ISO 27001 or NIST Cybersecurity Framework to guide your cybersecurity governance program.
I would suggest investing in cybersecurity awareness and training for your employees, as they are often the weakest link in the security chain. Some of the best practices for cybersecurity training includes complying with all local laws and regulations, getting everyone on board, making the training engaging and entertaining, as well as enforcing, reviewing and repeating the training. By educating your staff on how to recognize and prevent cyber threats, you can create a culture of security and reduce the human element of cyber breaches.
Thank you, Joel and Anush, for your time and your wisdom. To our viewers, we will see you in the next session.